Wang, Director General of the International Policy Bureau of the Ministry of National Defense, the first China-ROK Vice Ministerial level diplomatic and security 2+2 dialogue. The two sides elaborated on each other's diplomatic and security policies and conducted an in-depth exchange of views on China-ROK relations and international and regional issues of mutual interest. On the same day, Vice Minister Sun Weidong also met with Chao Taiyuan, Minister of Foreign Affairs of ROK. The two sides reiterated that the two sides attach importance to growing the good neighborliness and friendship and mutual win-win cooperation between the two countries, and agreed to carry out dialogue and exchanges at different levels in different fields, and to carry out high-level strategic dialogue, diplomatic and security 2+2 dialogue, track 1.5 dialogue, and other mechanisms, dialogue mechanisms to enhance communications through diplomatic departments, to enhance political trust and promote practical cooperation, and promote this healthy and stable development of China-ROK strategic cooperative partnership. The two sides agreed to enhance subnational youth exchanges and improve the people-to-people friendly ties. China also make its position clear on Taiwan question and other issues concerning China's core interests and major concerns, and asked the ROK to properly handle them. The ROK reiterated its position of respecting one China policy has not changed. China pointed out that China advocated the vision of common, comprehensive, cooperative, and sustainable security and practiced true multilateralism. China believes advocates to respect each country's legitimate security rights and promote global security cooperation through dialogue and negotiation, upholds hegemony, unilateralism, and power politics. The two countries are both beneficiaries of economic globalization, and therefore they should jointly safeguard global industrial and supply chains and oppose politicization of economic issues and overstretch of the security concept, and oppose any kind of trade protectionism and building barriers and walls. The two countries elaborated on the position views on the Korean Peninsula issue. China stressed that safeguarding peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula is in the interest of all sides. Common interests, including China and ROK. The situation and the development of the situation is clear, and the priority is to cool down the situation and avoid escalation of the confrontation and uphold the right direction of political settlement. China always decides its position based on the merits of the issue and will continue to play a constructive role in Korean Peninsula affairs in its own way. The ROK talked about the DPRK Russia interactions and cooperation. China says that the DPRK and Russia are friendly neighbors, and it is their normal needs to have exchanges and cooperation and develop their relations, and they are the bilateral arrangements of two sovereign countries. This dialogue is this arrangement decided earlier and has no relation with other countries.
一名美国高级官员将访问日本和荷兰，要求这两个国家对中国半导体行业施加新的限制，包括限制中国制造人工智能所需的高端存储芯片的能力。外交部对此有何评论？
我们注意到
We noted the report. China firmly opposes the U.S. attempt to extend bloc confrontation to trade and technology sectors and coerce other countries to go after China's semiconductor industry. The U.S. behavior is aimed at perpetuating its supremacy and depriving China of its legitimate rights to grow. In order to take exclusive control of the top end of the value chain, the U.S. would go so far as to destabilize global industrial and supply chains. This will not only handicap the global semiconductor industry, but also eventually backfire and do no one good. We hope relevant countries will do the right thing, firmly resist coercion, and jointly uphold an open and fair international trade order to protect their own long-term interests. Next question.
谢谢发言人。湖北广电记者提问：我们注意到今年5月，中。
湖北 TV. We noted that the China-Europe freight train services recorded the highest monthly transport volume in May. What is your comment? The China-Europe Railway Express has performed remarkably well this year. In May, in particular, the China-Europe freight train services made 1,724 trips and carried 186,000 TEUs of goods, up by 14% and 13% respectively year-on-year, and hitting a new monthly high. By the end of last year, the number of trips run by China-Europe freight trains exceeded 90,000 and carried more than $380 billion worth of cargo. In total, last week, China-Europe freight train services launched fully timetabled journeys that depart from Chongqing to Yiwu, which reduced the journey time to about 13 days from China to Germany. These freight trains carry not only cargo but also hope. They connect China and Europe and show the world not only the speed and vitality of Belt and Road cooperation, but also the dynamism and openness of the Chinese economy. The UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and Asian Development Bank, among other international institutions, in recent reports revised up their forecast for China's economic growth rate. In May, China's total import and export of goods grew by 8.6% year-on-year, 0.6 percentage points higher than the previous month. In the first 5 months of this year, accumulated imports and exports in China hit a record high compared with the same period of previous years. We stand ready to work with countries along the routes of the China-Europe Railway Express to speed up the high-quality development of the China-Europe freight train services, make sure that the global industrial supply chain stays stable, help the world economy grow, and bring more benefits to the people of those countries. Next question, please.
Reuters on anti-trafficking cooperation. China Liaoning police is investing into a case about money laundering. The Chinese government said that this displays a successful cooperation between China and the US, but it didn't mention anti-trafficking. Why should it become an example of China-US cooperation on anti-trafficking cases? Can you share more details? And what is the current condition of China-US cooperation in this regard? And relevant US officials is now visiting China. Is this concerning China-US cooperation in this regard? And what is China's expectation?
As to the question you raised, I'd refer you to the competent authorities. Next question.
Thank you. Bloomberg News again.
厄瓜多尔似乎已经暂停了对中国公民的免签，因为担心中国经由厄瓜多尔进入移民至美国。外交部对此有何评论？
I answered the question yesterday. Let me stress that the agreement on mutual visa exemption between China and Ecuador, since it took office in August 2016, has played an important and positive role in promoting cross-border travel and practical cooperation in various fields between the two countries. Next question.
Good afternoon. Question from AFP.
法新社提问。美国国务卿布林肯周二表示，中方支持俄罗斯的国防工业，这样的支持必须停止。中方对此有何回应？
请重复你的问题。
Can you repeat your question?
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said yesterday that China's support has prolonged Russia's warring mechanism in Ukraine. He stressed that this must be stopped. What is your response to these comments?
在这个问题上，
On this issue, China has made our position clear for many times. I would like to reiterate that on the Ukraine issue, China has never exploited profits and is always committed to promoting peace talks. China never provided weapons to the parties to the conflict and has strict control of dual-use items and has been warmly received by the international community. The United States, without any evidence, we oppose the spread of disinformation of the United States without any evidence and shift blame to China. Next question.
Thank you. Last question.
中国和斯里兰卡刚刚在北京举行了外交磋商，通过这些谈判，是否与中国进出口银行达成了最终的债务协议，或者与中国国家开放银行达成了原则性的协议？ On the 13th round of China-Sri Lanka diplomatic consultations, China has released the readout, which you may refer to. What I can tell you is that the Chinese side has been providing assistance to Sri Lanka's socio-economic development to the best of our capability. We stand ready to work with relevant countries and international financial institutions to support Sri Lanka's debt sustainability. On your specific question, I'd refer you to competent authorities. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。东方卫视记者提问。那么我们关注的有报道提到。
Dragon TV. In China, there is no so-called DPRK defectors in China. People who illegally enter China for economic reasons are not refugees. China handles these illegal entries under the principles of both domestic and international laws and the spirit of humanitarianism. We hope that relevant sides will not politicize this issue and create obstacles for China to handle it. Next question.
Hi, AFP again.
法新社关于菲律宾军方今天表示，中国海警本周登上了菲方的海军船只，中方海警查获了枪支。菲律宾军方表示，这是在仁爱礁附近发生的事，你能否予以确认并提供更多信息？
我想强调的是
I want to stress that the Philippines intrusion in the Renai of the Nanai Rensha群岛 of China in disregard of China's dissuasion is the direct reason of this incident. The CCG's law enforcement measures at the scene is professional and restrained, and it aims at stop the illegal resupply of the Philippine vessels. And the CCG has not taken direct measures against the Philippine personnel. The Philippines has once again said what it cares is living materials, but in fact, they are secretly carrying construction materials and even weapons and ammunition in an attempt to occupy the Limassol in the long run. China urges the Philippines to immediately stop infringement and provocations, and China will continue to safeguard its own sovereign rights and interests resolutely in accordance with law. Next question. Any more questions?
有。
法新社关于奥运会 中国将于下月向奥运会派出11名游泳运动员，他们涉嫌兴奋剂案件。这些运动员包括张雨霏。美国的反兴奋机构批评这是潜在的掩盖行为。世界反兴奋剂机构表示，将向中国派遣一个小组来调查案件的相关情况。你有关于该小组何时抵达中国的消息吗？
We have answered relevant questions before. What I want to stress is that the Chinese government has always been committed to the firm position of zero tolerance on dumping issue and strictly abide by the world anti-dumping regulation to firmly safeguard the physical and mental health of the athletes and the fair competition of sports games. And China will make positive contribution to the global struggle against dumping. Next question. Any more questions? Well, that is the end of today's press conference. Thank you all.